Is pitching and defense.
We did last year.
Ultimately, the work that was done this offseason by players.
In Florida, the fans are ready, getting their
Understand they have to be better. 89 wins a year ago, and that was only good enough for third row. He's a leader. He has to
aware of what he can do.
Welcome back to sunny Dunedin, Florida. Ben Schulman and
it's a special time of the spring, Ben. Obviously, the players are anxious, the fans are anxious. To
feel that they can get a lot of internal improvement out of this team. Where do you look for spots where maybe
you have to figure out how you beat Luis?
Phillies headed up by a familiar face. Whit Merrifield is back, and he is with.
When he signs, okay, they got this top prospect. You can see his numbers between Vancouver and a winner throughout where he has played. He's not overpowering. He's not big in this. Bichette and Espinal up the middle. Spencer Horwitz, we saw a little bit of him last year.
109 local.
Answers in that category.
Here's Kiner Falefa, and that's the first look.
Stay athletic no matter where I'm at.
Here's the great center fielder defensively, Johan Rojas. He wasn't getting to play from a couple different looks.
Yeah, I think he's all throughout the early parts of the spring.
Tried to get Rojas to chase the. Dallas delivers and gets the swing and a miss off of Rojas. Takes a called strike, and Dallas is ahead. 2021 out of Tennessee. Fires home, swing and a miss, strike three, and Dallas string. And the Blue Jays have two new signings in the lineup from the Red Sox, Justin Turner, and from the Yankees.
He is getting some instruction from the veteran bat boy, but Jimmy Mays, he's taking.
He must have really gone off track after that one.
Yep, he's serving his penance for
today. Colby Allard to third, scooped up by Rodolfo Castro, and the former Pirate flips in last year. Started on an absolute tear. And
in the league in batting. Bo can hit. There's no question about that. Now his challenge is, okay, how do I become Corey
Turner, taking his first AB in Blue Jays blue.
39 has always been the RBI guy, and I think that's what Turner is. He understands as far as winning games.
And he'll take a 4-pitch.
He was trying to be an average hitter. He was trying to be a guy to hit the ball to right field.
Have something going here in the bottom of the first. Jansen takes inside, ball one. The Phillies. 1-0. Inside again, and Jansen protecting those.
It's a big spring for Nate.
8 straight balls here, and the Blue Jays have the big
first inning. That's a pretty good sign early on.
You see that as 7-year-old Dalton Varsho off the glove of Clemens and into right field. Bichette will score.
And determined to throw you a first pitch strike, and Varsho was all over.
A lot of at-bats at third base this year.
Build that foundation where you kind of develop your personality in spring. So here he is.
IKF talked about 3-1, and he fouls it back into the screen. And he spoils another. Payoff again, and Kiner Falefa waves and misses at an elevate. Now the pitch to Spencer Horwitz. Called strike one.
Leagues last year.
Balls Jansen's going to come home. It's 3-0 Blue Jays. They run a ton in the minor leagues. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. Welcome back to Dunedin. Nate Pearson enters the game in the top of the second with the Blue Jays leading. How'd you feel out there in your first action?
Thank you for one, and it was good. I felt really good.
In your first camp, but what's it mean for a young pitcher like you to be around this?
You know, when they use certain pitches, how they attack hitters. It's been really for the plan, but you got to fill up the zone. Strikes win games, walks don't. So
balls that you mix in pretty often. How do those play off of each other, you think, to make it difficult to hit?
Lighter, but you know, it's just a different look. You know, you have your ball when it's on, especially is really a fun pitch to use. It's having a big brother is one of the coolest things that I get to say. You know, him and my dad, they've always pushed me to watch him, either whether it's live stream or in spring training, getting to see him season. Yeah, I think a lot of it is just reaching the goals. You know, just getting stronger, getting ready. Sorry, I can't hear position players or pitchers. I mean, these guys hit for a living, and you know how they attack, how they keep their composure. Just watching them be professional, ability, but you know, you never know. So it was really cool. And
confidence was proven right, Chad. Congrats on that strong ending, and thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, of course.
Guys that the Blue Jays could rely on should they need to go a little bit down their depth chart.
Yeah, I could hear by his conversation how confident he is, and he understands who he is. Offense, you're going to keep the defense on their toes, and strikes, it's something everybody's trying to throw a splitter. Not everybody can master it, of course, but because it'll be more effective.
Field racing back, Varsho looking up, and that ball.
We don't see the A team here today, first game of the spring, but an interesting guy. Of course, he signed that lucrative contract before he ever played a day.
Hasn't played a ton since. Here's Rodolfo Castro, who the Phillies acquired from Pittsburgh in a trade this inning. And when you think to, you know, his season
behind, you allow the hitters to land. You just don't have the ability to mix your pitches in and pitch effectively, and change speeds. And you know, Nate just
sure. Tool into left field. Felt that his glove position was giving
a particular pitch. It's been in the game forever, and.
Two former teammates facing off as Pearson delivers outside to Whit.
I'm about to cash this check for $50,000 for an accident I was involved in over
a pitch. It makes you that much better as a hitter.
Team that he can be a big part of. Field, that's down into the gap, cut off by and headed to third Garcia, but a
noon for Nate Pearson. Gives up a couple of home runs
from the top of the second. And Buck Martinez at TD Ballpark. And Buck, what do you think this means for Pearson? It is just.
And Blues guys got him in a AAA Rule 5.
Ground ball goes right by him. And
corner of the bag, and I'm sure that was a bit of a distraction, but if you ask him, he'll tell you he should have made
competition. Santiago Espinal might be in a bit of a competition. Time to Bichette. His first defensive play of the spring is right on the money. 3 home runs to take the lead.
His left leg. Now his MRI revealed no structural damage, so that's good news. Then Tiedemann, he gives him credit for really
business. You got to keep Vladdy busy.
Nathan Lucas sends one to right field. David Dahl
clear when his name wasn't in the starting lineup.
But he's here.
But he's here.
One of the headlines of camp. Eden down or
had a terrific MVP caliber season, and I think one thing, feelings about the process, and he is in great shape, working hard.
Actually not a player the caliber of Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who's been a franchise.
Concerned about Alec Bohm, their fine young third baseman. He was going through the.
Here's the top of the order for the Blue Jays, Santiago Espinal. Colby Allard in his second inning of work misses high, and it's ball and a strike.
Espy knows what the got to compete.
Espinal ground, and Zach Pop is in the game, and Cody Clemens back at the wall, a leap off the wall. Clemens will
face last year, got into 30.
That the Phillies acquired Clemens. Pop misses low here to Weston Wilson. 1-0. Good block there by Danny Jansen.
Pitches his first season for sure.
Wilson pops up a
Schneider at the bottom of the zone.
Field turning away from the sun. Eden makes the catch. 2 down.
Kids throughout this spring that you've not really heard of.
The Miners at the starting pitching role. Pop hits the zone against Scott Kingery.
A couple of weeks where they had just 2 starters in their rotation. They just didn't have any depth to the pitchers. Bassett, Gosman, Barrios, Kikuchi, and you know,
at times, or just starting 4 guys at times.
Manoah's intelligently to get back. And
hot shot to second, picked up by Espinal, and he has all the time you need. The 3rd inning at TD Ballpark, Bo Bichette leads off just in.
And it's just going to be a matter of.
That one off the handle, but it works for Bo. He's 2 for 2. His fantasy football league is over there. He's going 4-10 in his fantasy league. Bo takes off on the first pitch. Turner taking all the way.
Watch how he gets the lead. He got such an early lead. He wasn't sure if he should.
Of doing it. He swiped 25 bags in 2021 and only got thrown out.
Runs in a different fashion.
The leaping Sosa into left center field. Blue Jays have tied it up as.
And his work is done for the day.
Danny, that's down in fair territory. Looking for extra bases. The throw to
first pitch, and he beats the throw into second base with a hit.
Third, Jansen on second. Varsho with 2 RBIs today. Fouls off the first pitch.
I can score him. at third base. A ground ball or a fly ball will get him in.
Really good hitter in general, but his numbers get even better in the situations where
A good hitter back in 2014, and then he started to understand.
Varsho looking for one of those, down for a base hit, falling in front of Dahl.
Two key players with the Blue Jays, and now
On Marquee Sports Network from Cactus Nation, the road to the postseason begins.
going to have to put the ball in play contact. They don't have the big.
Jays with 5 hits this inning, 4 of them singles, runner go and throw to second.
Good tag by Sosa, who got in front of the base and applied.
Is played on Thursday to open up the 2024 spring training season, and infield in for the Phillies. The 2-2 is in the dirt. Payoff pitch, and Horwitz fights it off. He won't chase on that pitch, and Lucas, who ended up on top, he secured one of the last spots.
Play all 3 outfield positions. He can steal a base, and he's a left-handed
Home run with 2 outs against the Tigers. It was Luke. First pitch nearly hit him. 29 years old, spent most of the ball deep to center field. This is more than deep enough to fly for Nathan Lucas, and RBI.
gets acknowledged for a good at-bat. Varsho's
Eden, and a look over at first by Aramis Garcia. A way that helps the team win.
That's interesting you say that, because them as individuals, everything is individual work. We see it every day.
Who talked about when he was signed, how's it for him? Pop up to third, Castro charges in.
Last year in the Cub system at AAA Iowa, 50 games, and there was a curveball, but he's thrown as high as 97.
On the ground, yeah, that's going to hurt the hands of Castro. And
From Little, terrific start to his outing.
and learned a lot from Robinson over that stretch, as he had said at the time.
Yeah, I would say, I needed that. The record on it speaks to what happened. You know, a lot of the guys enjoy it, and we have a blind. And I'm gonna throw him under the bus a little bit here. You know, he finished last.
Back and forth is nothing new. You are the 2 longest tenured players.
You know, it's great. You know, Jansen and I were drafted the same sin, and the same for me with him. So it's been awesome, and he's
About the chemistry of your bullpen and how close you guys are down there.
yeah, it's very tight in a professional manner, but no, we know when we come into the game, and as many as we're called upon, that's where we play.
Talked about Bo meeting with the team before the game. Expectations are of this team.
Yeah, you know, he's Bo every day as an opportunity to develop still and put your best foot.
Batter Johan Rojas, and in foul territory, first base side, not too far away from.
One can pitch early, one can pitch late, depending on what the matchups are. Get you a few more strikeouts than Mesa, but Mesa's never going to get himself into trouble.
As we get back to baseball, first day of spring training for the Blue Jays. And it was an interesting year last year for Espinal, right as some momentum was starting to build. He strikes out looking here, and
It's a competition.
Bichette takes outside. Bo's 2 for 2.
Put down his focus. You got the count in your favor. You've already got 2 hits. Plate.
Going back, Clemens, and he gets called off the second.
In uniform with the Blue Jays, but he's a very, very accomplished third base coach. And a welcome return to this organization where he was a coach watching them. And he will get his judgments.
22 transition to out sliding stop by Clemens at first, who gets up from the seat of his great problem to have.
Well, it sure is. And competition gives you a better guy that is further removed from Tommy John. Had a good finish to the season last year, but I think now he's in a pretty good spot to compete. I think on the bullpen.
He's Buck Martinez. I'm Ben Schulman. Hazel May down. They got much better results out of him when they moved him to the pen, and he gets a foul ball here to make it 2.
Demanding.
To short. There's the new shortstop, Leo Jimenez, and
yeah, we've made some wholesale changes on defense, and Jimenez comes in.
Cody Clemens with a strike.
It's spring training for scorekeepers too.
Oh yeah, it's spring training.
It's beautiful.
Through the right side, his second base hit of the day, and headed to third. Sosa, and
Clemens pulls it through the right side of the infield. Sosa goes first.
Here's Weston Wilson, homered in the second. Line fair ball. That'll score at least once. Jogging in home.
Another hitter count but it was pulled right down the left field corner, and that's
Martinez is at second for the dive, but it's right past the glove and into drives in a run as Wilson with the Rockies in 2019. Suoletta hits the right-hander, fires home down in right center field, a base hit. Dull, and the throw cut off by Martinez. Suoletta pitches.
right. And the last year been swinging the first pitch.
Sosa, that could have been a 6-3 putout. Throw went wide. You could get lost in that complex if it was your first time very easily. First pitch to the 9-hitter, Aramis Garcia. And a foul ball off to the right side. Jimenez and Martinez up the middle. Swing and a miss, strike 3 against Garcia. To short. Jimenez is going to go the safe way to Penn. But 2 quick outs here. And a first pitch distraction for the Phillies as well. Could see Dylan Covey next inning. One of the better defensive center fielders in baseball. Center, Varsho back at the wall. The blue wall. 2 runs into
Back on it and never got back in position to really make a catch.
As Grayson Thurman continues to warm up there, Orelvis Martinez, particularly on double plays, guys, the ball tends to be behind you.
team ahead now with Orelvis Martinez at second base and Grayson Thurman.
He's got big time power that's legit. I think he's got a chance to be
The year prior. And
using the whole field.
to short. Jimenez with the long throw. It's high.
He goes after this throw. Right there, couple of steps, takes too long, and when he...
And here's a pinch hitter for the Phillies. It's Bryce Ball in the spot of last year with single A Dunedin. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. To right field for a base hit, picked up by Lucas, and this
There's been a changeup that he lines into right field.
and 2 outs. And moving toward right field, and it's a foul ball.
In this extended 5th inning.
And they've done for the end of the season.
We'll track the price of your flight so you can decide when to book.
He takes another pitch upstairs. Racing back, Lucas looking up.
And report information, and they're still refining their command. And
Sits in under 100 games. Second, Martinez picks it up and throws to first. What do you think that can do for this team?
Donnie Mattingly loves to talk about it, hit that pitch. And he was going to be an asset on the bench for them. Sticking with it is part of it. And it's all about, you know what Pete Rose has talked about, it's Bo Bichette. He can hit a lot of pitches, and he can hit pitches off the plate for base.
Cruz coming in right field. That gets down for another Varsho base hit. Why do you think that is, or what do you think he can do in this situation?
Well, a lot of the difference overall, it's not the power laden with this ball club.
Kiner Falefa with a looper.
He's rewarded with his second base hit of the afternoon, and his day has
To the game, 2 on, 1 out. The first baseman into right field, Baroa. Barger stopped at second for.
had a strikeout and a walk at his first 2 plate appearances.
And a pinch runner now for Horwich. De Los Santos, that is, at second. And it squirts out of his glove, but he recovers to flip it to first.
An RBI.
Takes another pitch low. Another pitch out of the zone, and now
Last year,
hard hit ground ball foul. De Los Santos had to dance out. Swing and a miss there by Eden, and that is here. The manager of the Phillies, a Canadian,
Saturday, and we played at Copperhead over them, and Rob celebrated back-to-back birdies for the first time as a golfer. Cater, and he's got a heck of a ball club to manage as well.
Philly, and as a starter. Foul ball as that one struck Moose. 2-2 called, strike 3. Big schools in a couple different respects in the U.S. Called strike. 0-2, swing and a miss, slowed it down, and had Dale back-to-back strikeouts. Here's Kendall Simmons in his first chance, and he fouls it. Kind of that Tyler Heineman role from last year. As that pitch lands in the dirt, 2, and at least at some point end up using a third catcher. As the 3-2 misses, it's a 2-out. I don't doubt it. You might have some.
On baseball anymore. A guy that will play 40 games maybe. And
And the travel was probably a little bit them defensively. 2-strike pitch is cut on and missed. Strike 3. Eric Brito scoring affair here in Dunedin. 14-9 for the Phillies over the Blue.
What he's made some fast adjustments throughout the minor leagues, and his movement
is really impressive. You are really
power hitter along the lines of a George Bell.
Wow, that is quite.
And these young Latino players, they've got the benefit of having
possible that we'll see him start at AAA this year. Towards right center, that'll drop in for a base hit. Martinez jogs of great Blue Jays that come around. You see Devon White.
Cincinnati came over in trade and really developed in. You know what he?
Well,
another guy that's in is Victor Martinez, who's on the bench there.
Fly ball.
There's no depth perception. There's a little bit of breeze down there, and you can see he got over batting practice, and they were going through a similar thing where the ball's up in the
time in Toronto. Left center field. That's going to split the throw, and Brian
early on. Danny Jansen started this bases.
Stuart Baroa squares and bunts it down the third base line, but it's in the same game.
Interesting in that he's got some speed.
He pops it up to left. Muzziotti fighting the sun.
Very comfortable in this setting, but he's genuinely excited to
go.
Michael Mercado misses high, and it's 1-2.
Bone chips in his elbow. That kind of consistency you'd like to see, but
field. And he told me that it's been interesting learning from Isaiah Kiner-Faletti. He takes on Luis De Los Santos, first plate appearance of the game for
engage you in a conversation. Interesting guy. He's got some power.
Hit 3 grand slams last season as he takes a pitch inside. Blue Jays had 2 last year. He had 3. And he takes a 5-pitch.
Him. Power in that small package.
Short day in the rotation in his first year. He was incredibly valuable to the Blue Jays.
Cuts. And he runs it out there, and he's got a lot of movement on it.
Stevenson fights it off, and
flatter a cutter, but his is legitimately a cutter with flat ball in Calgary, and he's got an interesting story. Another left.
Here's Fluharty, the 5th rounder out of Liberty, gets another foul ball for us. And he actually played for the Blue Jays as a kid. Was the name of his little league team, and he
in the minor league system, including Will Robertson, who makes the catch. Right.
Schwecke up, flew up to shallow left center. Jimenez going out.
Skills on display. That was another tough pop-up. And 2, he works from the extreme.
0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 1, 2, 3.
I did a lot of aerobics.
Okay.
A lot of aerobics at the end of weights. They were banned from the clubhouse.
Think about that now. I mean, it's such a huge part of it.
A lot of swimming in his off-season routine, and
the top power hitters as well. Hooks it down to third. And Martinez retired on the field with the Rays.
Here on the 7th of March. And to get ready to come into this.
Softly to short, charging in Schwecke, and his throw there. Not the toughest division in baseball. The AL East was loaded last year.
Marcus Stroman, and of course they got the big guy at the top of the order in Garrett Cole. Bradish has got elbow problems.
That's a big loss.
And he might be out. I think the biggest thing for John Schneider is trying to win a division deep into the postseason.
Yeah, they've made the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years, but every time. Here, middle of the diamond, Jimenez is going to call off his mind.
Pretty good season. A whip of just 132 in both Little and Iser.
Handled toward right field. That's a catch for Robertson and a 1.
17 games in AAA for Ruiz, and
the White Sox to the Diamondbacks. Check swing. The dominant closer for a bit, but he pokes it toward the mound. It's fielded by Ruiz. Servin's big extra base hit.
Servin came over the big hit.
His minor league numbers before, spent most of the year at AAA Albuquerque. He checks his swing. Pretty good bond. Peyton Henry, the other catcher.
Big league pitching.
Up to second, picked up by Brito. It knocked him back into the outfield.
Back on his heels on that big hop, but he able to right him. First inning, and they just have slowed down.
2-1. Swing and a miss, full count. With that, Roa ready for the 3-2 again, and he's aboard.
Because Barger's got some power, and Baroa did a good job of getting the two.
But it'd be nice for him to have a less interrupted year as the runner. Barger impressed last spring with some big home runs for the Blue.
Got to cut out those mistakes.
Outside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks with 2 outs. And now the go-ahead run. 3 grand slams last year. He swings and shoots the first pitch down the right.
Bats just as a fill-in, an extra kid from the minor leagues. Higher prospects.
Runners go, a double steal, but a swing and a miss anyway.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, Jose Bautista one last year had a levitating bat.
Doll with a great big head on it and a big spring. That was it. Spectacular. It's changed into a baseball park.
Carlos De
Last year, he pitched to Double-A at the end of the season, made 32 appearances.
0-2. Jimenez down in left field, a base hit for Kendall Simmons.
Yeah, that break, good play.
Picked up by Brock, and he'll make the throw over to first.
Familiar theme that you just heard from Hazel, that a lot of the kids have really.
2-1 cut on and missed. And count against Cal Stevenson, the pitch.